The oil and gas industry and the environment always seem to have been painted as opponents to one another. But what if I told you there's more to their relationship than just oil is bad, environment is good? Hi, I'm Kevin, part of the oil task team here at Gregg Distributors. Welcome to our fourth installment on our Propel Oil 101 series. As you can guess, this time we're going to talk more about the controversial side of oil and the environment. Before I begin, if you haven't already, make sure to go back and check out our previous Oil 101 videos, as they'll help keep you up to speed with some of the terminology and talking points. Without further ado, welcome to Gear Up with Greggs. Oil and the environment are not a new conflict. As long as there's been people pulling crude, bitumen, and other petroleum-based oils from the earth, there's always been issues that have come up the pipeline too. There is no denying that the oil extraction and refining process creates greenhouse gases. It's a fact of the industry. Unfortunately, when one mentions oil and the environment, many are reminded of the environmental damages caused by numerous recent oil spills. However, as safety protocols and technology continuously advance, the ways in which we transport oil continues to improve. Nowadays, pipelines and rail have become the most common form of oil transportation here in Canada. Today, there are about 840,000 kilometers of transmission, gathering, and distribution pipelines within Canada, which transport up to 3.8 million barrels of crude oil and 14.2 billion cubic feet of natural gas every single day. All of this has been going on since 1853. Between 2014 and 2018, Canadian pipelines and railways together transported billions of gallons of crude oil within Canada. And of this, 2.19 million gallons were spilled, highlighting that 99.999% of all volumes transported by rail and pipeline were done so incident-free. Pipelines, although not 100% foolproof, are the safest mode of transportation for oil and natural gas. Now let's switch gears and talk about some of the common misconceptions regarding oil and the environment. First, oil cannot be recycled or reused. Well, that's a myth. Almost all types of waste oil have the potential to be recycled safely, saving a precious, non-renewable resource, and at the same time minimizing environmental pollution. In most cases, used oil can be reused after reconditioning with or without the addition of any additives, giving this spent oil a new lease on life. Regeneration, reclamation, or recycling of spent lubricating oils has become an important processing industry, adopting various techniques for oil purification. Now, there are different recycling requirements and protocols across the provinces, so make sure to double check what your local regulations are before you drop off that pail of oil at your local recycling depot. Next, most oil pollution comes from oil tankers that become stranded or ships that wash their holds at sea. Yet another myth. More than twice as much oil gets into the environment each year because of sloppy activities involving automobiles and boats. At least 200 million gallons of oil are dumped each year in the US by people changing their own engine oil. Overfilling auto gas tanks also contributes to that mess, as do spills when refilling outboard motor tanks. All of these small spills add up to be more than the average tanker spill. So that means when you're turning your wrenches at home, take the extra precautions when changing your engine oil so that you don't spill. And if you do, make sure to clean up properly and dispose of the soiled oil. Canada's oil sands produce dirty oil? Big myth. While processing oil sands oil is labor intensive and does require land, water, and tailing ponds, the oil and gas industries working in our oil sands have vastly improved over the years. In fact, the average emissions intensity of the oil sands extraction process has fallen 21% since 2009. The companies behind this decline have put great effort towards cleaning up their extraction, refining, and reclamation processes. Even though the extraction process for oil and gas can change the land immensely, major oil and gas corporations have continued to put their investments towards environmental reclamation. For example, back in 2011, Suncor celebrated the planting of their 5 millionth tree at Wapso Lookout, the world's first tailings pond to be revegetated and reclaimed. That's a lot of trees. Ashless lubricants are better for the environment? That's a fact. Ashless lubricants are products that do not contain metallic residues or oxides after combustion. For example, in hydraulic oils, ZDDP, calcium and magnesium, detergent/dispersant, are major contributors to metallic residues. These chemicals that form ash are frequently used in engine oils and hydraulic fluids. Ashless industrial oils are therefore lubricants that are formulated without metallic additives and are mainly used for the following purposes: circulation oil used in humid environments, oil that has been rated environmentally acceptable or biodegradable, and food-grade oils. Renewable energy development conflicts within the interests of pipeline companies. That's a myth. Many pipeline companies are actually invested in sources of renewable energy. For example, Enbridge is invested in 16 wind farms and a Trans-Canada compressor station in BC, which provides emission-free electricity for the province's power grid. And with the growing interest in renewable energy resources, more and more companies have been jumping on board this green movement. Now, when it comes to such topics like oil and the environment, it's not possible to cover every single detail pertaining to the science and the history of such a hot-button issue. So, we here at Gregg's encourage you to stay curious and continue learning and listening to what the experts on these topics have to say. Next time on Gear Up with Gregg's Propel Oil 101, we're going to cover in greater detail passenger car oil. And you'll even get a sneak peek at just some of our very own oil products we have here to offer at Gregg Distributors. But if you liked what you learned so far, why not subscribe to the channel? You can also find the links to our social media sites down below in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to leave us a comment, give us a call, or visit our website at greggdistributors.ca. Again, I'm Kevin, and I'll see you in our next Propel Oil 101 video right here on Gear Up with Gregg's. Thanks for keeping it Canadian.